Guys, it's Jerningam here. I saw another strange video on YouTube of somebody else has filmed this. It's about aliens. But anyway, we're going to press the video and press play and see what it says about these aliens, eh? So this person's put this about aliens. It's got like 500 views. This is not my video. This is somebody else's video. I thought I'd copy it and show you guys how strange this video is. You guys will probably have your own opinions about the video, but I hope you all enjoy it. And yeah, let's see what it is. You'll see why the video is strange when it comes on, because I think it's quite weird as well.
You hear the thunder?
As you can see,
oh look, honey, it looks like a face.
There's a picture of a face, of a man's face. It looks like God, as you can see on there.
Like the Lord. Look
That's
at
what the woman's saying. She's pointing to the face.
The crown of thorns
and lightning comes out of his mouth in a minute.
Mouth? Wow, that's crazy. Lord, you just let me know.
There you go.
We're safe in your hands. Wow.
I didn't think you could see God's face in the clouds there, as you can see. Or something. You can see the eyeball there. And you've got the mouth. See, a lot of people have probably seen this video, and some people haven't, and various people have. So I thought I'd just share it on YouTube and show you guys it's a strange video, and some people like these type of videos. I mean, you know, she's pointing to the finger again of the man. His face, his eyebrows, his eyes and nose and mouth. There you go. Strange video, ain't it, guys? You wouldn't at least expected seeing a face in the clouds. Some people would say it was illusion, but I don't think it'd be illusion. A strong form of role in looking is seen from the film Most Missed May. More patterns are in the sky. You'd think this was a tsunami, but it looks like a giant cloud. It does look like water, but it's like a mist that's coming in. I couldn't really say. A giant mist. Some countries have tsunamis, not every country, but it's to kill a lot of people. A tsunami. Like a giant wave of water. This looks like a giant cloud. Which is forming in the sky near Walmart in America. And then people would say it's climate change and all this and all the earth changing and various things. This is in the woods and the ground's moving of the surface. You see the ground like an earthquake. Like the earth is breathing. Hot air and pressure underneath there, I think. Interesting video. They got some weird videos on YouTube, very weird ones. Talking about aliens, this happened 5 minutes ago in Brexit. Countdown. Brexit. Britain is due to leave the European Union on October the 31st. But how's that going to happen if Theresa May is going to be leaving in July or June? 5 hours. And Boris Johnson should be in power. They all think. That was a very short video. I think, guys. Very short indeed. They always love to see him do the short videos. You got a Tony Robertson video 3 hours ago.
I'm Jessica Schwentynowski for the Rebel Dot Media, and I'm out here today in Fleetwood, which is a coastal town in Lancashire. Looking around and walking around, it seems
Got an
like
American reporter in Lancashire, England.
Poverty has been an issue in this area, and people are on food stamps and living in poverty and has become the norm. It does seem like a working class town. So, Tommy Robinson will be here soon. He'll be out campaigning, and he will be
Tony
holding his
Robinson.
rally for later tonight.
I can't wait for the 23rd of May. You know, lads, to see a group of lads over here who were walking up earlier. Just reminded me of myself walking up when I grew up. Have you ever voted, lads? Have you ever voted? No. No, I've never voted, yeah? And as I saw all you lads walking up earlier, I just reminded me of me walking up. And I thought, you know what? If we get lads like that, if we get the groups of young lads, we get the non-voters to vote, it's gonna be like a lightning bolt into the middle of that establishment, because they ignore us. They don't care about us. The reason they don't care about us, I've said it every single speech, so if you've watched them, you've probably heard it. Working class communities like this. 75% of our country are from communities like this. 96% of those traitors in Parliament are middle class. Their children are privately educated. Now, I'm not having a go at Middle England. I'm not having a go at people who are middle class. I'm not having a go at successful people either. What I'm saying is the people from our communities who have been forgotten, who have no voice. I'm here to ask you, every one of you, I want to be your voice. I want to be your voice.
So, as you just heard in his speech, Tommy did mention that he himself has never voted for the EU. Have you voted in the past?
Yeah, I didn't really vote much, to be honest. No, it's only recently that I've become interested in politics.
And why the recent interest in politics?
I thought I watched Donald Trump and I saw how they sort of mistreated him and belittled him when he was with his wife and stuff. And it was like David and Goliath, really. The whole country was against him. And well, he's done so good. And I think Donald Trump's fantastic. And I've been watching Tommy, and I just want to get behind him, you know.
Do you see any similarities in Tommy and Donald Trump, with at least with the media, how they treat him?
Oh gosh, yeah, it's awful, isn't it, the way they treated him? Yeah, we're incensed really with what's going on. It was in Carlisle the other day, and the way the police handled that situation, it was appalling. And off the strength of that, we've come tonight. You know, we just want to show him our support.
Have you voted in the past?
No, no way.
And will you vote this time?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the first time I've actually felt like someone will make a difference.
The reason I come to the Northwest, I want to get into Labour's heartlands. The reason why is because I feel so betrayed by them. My granddad, my mum, my whole family would have been loyal Labour voters. What Labour have done to this country, what they've done across this country, the way they've betrayed us, for a new electorate of people.
Especially conservatives and traders as well.
I get angered and frustrated by it. And until there's an opposition, and an alternative option, I want to be that alternative option. I want to go across this country into working class communities, to the lads like that who have never voted. I want to give you something to vote for. We need to be talking politics. All of us talking politics. The reason why we're betrayed, and it's a fact, the reason why we are betrayed is because we don't vote.
Have you voted before?
Every time for Labour. And he's right by what he says about you go with what your parents have brought you up to vote. And I'm from a working class background. I've always voted Labour. My brother has done very well for himself, and he should really be voting more Conservative. And it was sort of a thing with my father where he would say, no, you should be voting Labour, you're forgetting your roots. And I think that's true. But what happened for me this time was, I've been very ill and I've been housebound and bedbound for about a year. And I commented on the New Zealand massacre saying that all Muslims are just like us, they're just working to feed their children.
I think so, yeah.
Could
be ideal.
Back saying, you don't understand.
I'd be tired about the yawning. Sorry about that, guys. I'm tired about it.
So that's what I've done. I've researched it, and I found Tommy. I found Avi. and I've never been as worked up in my life, and it's got me out of bed. I'm from Leeds, I'm not from here. We've come all the way, it's got me out of bed, and I just sort of owe my life really to Tommy. He's got me back.
So what's the biggest reason that you're switching from Labour to an independent candidate like Tommy?
Because I am frightened of what will happen if Sharia law comes in. I think the whole world is ruled by a power we don't know, and it's above our government, and it's been shown the way the police have treated him. Everything is just awful. You know, it's terrible how they're getting away with just sort of making him disappear. It's terrible.
Have you guys ever voted?
Yeah, I voted, yeah. I voted for Labour. That was about 3 years ago, but that was only because my granddad used to vote for them. Now, there's no point in voting for them because they're just trying to cause a destruction of our nation, really. Well, I see. Corbyn.
What do you think is going to be different this time with if Tommy wins, when he wins? What do you think is going to happen? Is this going to shake things up in European Parliament?
Oh, it'll definitely shake things up, yeah. We need a stirring Parliament because all we've got now is elites and like not working class people. There's 4% of working class people in Parliament. That is nowhere enough. In states like this, we need working class people. We need people standing up for our values and what our rights, freedom of speech. I've been banned off Facebook just for saying Tommy Robinson's in Blackpool about last week, and I got banned off Facebook just for saying that. I didn't say nothing racial, nothing hateful. I got banned for telling the truth. If you've got any opinion, come down and speak to it. And I got banned. And I just think it's total hypocrisy. The silence of the media and everything, it's just bang out of order.
You know what I'm concerned about with the votes? I know how corrupt this establishment really is because of what they've done. They've persecuted this man. They've broke him, tried to do everything they can to kill him, and he's endured them. You know, I think that they will try to fiddle with these votes. So I advise everyone, take a pen and get it down. Make sure you make a dint in the paper when you scribe it as well, because this is how corrupt these people are. You know, they will be devastated if Tommy gets elected. It'll be a shock to the system. And I can't wait for it to happen. I've even put 206 quid on Tommy to be elected at Paddy Power at 16 to 10 odds. 17 to 10, sorry. Get your money on Tommy Robinson, guys.
Oh,
honestly,
Tommy Robinson!
Have you voted in the past?
Yeah, but only to leave.
And are you going to be voting for Tommy?
Definitely, yeah.
And why are you voting for Tommy?
Because unlike Farage, I feel like he's actually for the people and not a turncoat.
Have you voted in the past?
Just to change things, really. You know what I mean? So yeah, free speech is a thing. That's what everybody boils down to, is free speech. I've never voted in the European elections before, but I am this time because nothing's changing.
So why do you think it's going to be different this time if you vote for Tommy?
At least he's going to say what people feel, and that's the whole point of it.
Have you voted for the European Parliament before?
I voted at the referendum, but that was the first time I've ever voted.
And how do you feel with the Brexit negotiations have, like, how do you feel about it? Do you think they've been doing a good job? Are you happy with it or not?
Not at all. It's been horrific. And you know, there's most of the parties now advocating for a second referendum, but we've had a vote. What's the point of a democratic society if you're just going to keep voting until they get the answer they want? That's not how it works.
They're not going, are they? You know, it's been 3 years. Where are we? We're no further on 3 years than where we were then. They should have figured this out 3 years ago. Not trying to sort it out now. It's just ridiculous. So, it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? I wouldn't vote for any of them now. Just waste time. But if it doesn't go through, I'll never vote again.
Paulie voted for Brexit and it's still not happening. And to me, if we have another referendum, there will be civil war. I really believe we will be at civil war. The newspapers and the media are not telling the true story.
I want everyone to understand what will happen on the 23rd when we win this election. Every single one of you, if you get out and vote, get your family out, get them out to vote, you will take part in a historic moment that is going to shock so many people. It's not going to shock us because we know how people are feeling. But you see those detached from society, you see the politicians, the liberal elite, the media, they will be scratching their heads. I don't want the 23rd of May to be a protest vote. I want it to be the beginning of an uprising. The beginning of a fight back, the beginning of the resistance.
I'm here in the UK to report on Tommy Robinson's campaign because I don't trust the mainstream media to do so fairly. To see all my videos and help support independent journalism by helping me pay for my journey, please visit TommyReports.com. Unlike the BBC, we get no government funding and we rely 100% on viewers like you.
Interesting video. That's why one would say to me. Very interesting. So yeah, they need to get the votes right, or civil war happens. And some people may not believe that, but I think, well, they don't. See, the thing is, this country, they just don't listen to the people. We voted to leave 2016. We haven't left still. It's ridiculous. Moving on to something else.
Please stop! Stop!
A tense confrontation.
This guy's getting arrested in America about something.
Clarence Evans was playing with his 2 children when the deputy approached him.
Stop! You stop! You stop!
His wife, Kenya, recorded the encounter on her cell phone.
Please stop! Stop!
The officers are putting his hands on this guy in America for no reason.
Please, he's not going nowhere.
Kenya, what were your worst fears as you watched this whole scene unfold?
That my husband was going to be murdered, that my kids was going to grow up without a father.
What triggered the nasty confrontation outside Houston? The deputy believed Evans fit the description of a fugitive named Quentin.
He kept telling me and my wife, I know who you are, I know who you are.
No, I'm not going to be the next you feel. No. His name is not Quentin.
It was only when a second deputy shows up that the lawmen realize they have the wrong man.
That's not what's wrong with you, man.
I was always that guy that said, if you're not breaking the law, you have nothing to worry about. And I absolutely wasn't breaking the law, and look what happened.
Please stop. Stop.
A spokesperson for the police department defends the officer's actions, saying they'd gotten a tip that the wanted fugitive was near the location, adding the deputies left when they determined they had the wrong man.
So I mean, the police always seem to have the wrong people. Not all the time, but sometimes. Then that man was innocent in America. Disgraceful country we live in sometimes, guys. Disgraceful. What could one say and one do about this? Nigel Farage, Labour was the party. That's what they keep saying. I'm going back in time of when it all started. We were sort of.
What private rock? Where did you get it from? In whose interest you exercise it? To whom you're accountable, and how can we get rid of you? And if you can't get rid of the people who govern you, you don't live in a democratic system.
Clever things, you're just a thought. Bigoted woman.
For a country Britain's size, it's important we are players in the European Union.
Tony Blair talking in the background.
British achievements has been an enlarged European Union, which has made a huge difference.
If you're a Brexiter, I hope you won't vote for the Labour Party, because the Labour Party is moving increasingly against Brexit. Your entire
See, Labour are against Brexit. Conservatives don't know.
I'm saying what you want Brexit delivered. You should vote the party that's going to deliver Brexit.
The Brexit Party seems better, like Nigel Farage wants to leave the European Union. Greener or Democrats, or it depends what you're into, guys. At the end of the day. So what else can we sort of film in this phone and look on what we've not been through already? The way the country is going at the moment, it is a bit of a shamble, really. The UK is a very good country, but it's the people that are in it that's making it worse. So this was in California 1 day ago. Homelessness, American.
In the San Francisco Bay Area, the housing crisis has become so severe that some have adopted a novel solution. They're living on boats. And not quaint boats off Sausalito or yachts.
People are living on boats in California, are they?
100 people are living on a ragtag.
People live in tents in the UK and
sailboats and other vessels the paper describes as, quote, decrepit. They aren't all vagrant. Some hold jobs. One woman bought a boat for $15,000 because rent for a studio apartment had grown to $3,000 a month. Do the math, it'll pay for itself in less than half a year. It might sound like an adventure, but it's also third
Fox
world.
News.
Just like tent camps, most boats are not designed to be lived on permanently. During storms, they can endanger lives and cause damage, huge amounts of damage. These flotillas are illegal, by the way, but just like exploding housing prices, Bay Area government doesn't seem very interested in it or serious about fixing it. Whether it's San Francisco or New York or Seattle, when you think of homelessness, you think of major cities. But the homeless crisis is not limited to big population centers. Some of the hardest hit places are small cities and towns, where even a small homeless population can put massive strain on public service. For the latest installment in our series, Homeless in America, our producer Charlie Cougar went to Oregon, where one small charity is fighting to improve a desperate situation in Eugene. Our first stop in Portland, Oregon wasn't meant to be work-related. It was for breakfast at an upscale
Portland,
bakery near
America.
the city's fashionable Pearl District. But when we arrived, we found this, a homeless man rifling through a trash can. In the parking lot, a dirty syringe. Homelessness in Portland looked a lot like what we'd seen in other cities. Lots of tents, lots of drugs. The city's permissive culture, its temperate climate, and generous social services attract vagrants and addicts from around the country. We met a woman called Liberty Hope at a cloverleaf off Interstate I-5. She says she came to the West Coast because she needed medical treatment for her leukemia. She moved to Portland after police in Washington State towed her motorhome.
See what kind of world are we living in? You say it's a free country and people can get on with their
Hope says
lives.
she's blessed because the city shuttles her between a medical clinic and her tent. She hopes to get back to her home state of Montana when she's healthy again.
How long do you think you'll be here?
I'm not too sure. I broke my foot this last winter, so it kind of set me back with my medical. But I'm a miracle, so every day is a miracle.
Similar tent encampments line Portland's highways. Virtually every open space in the city seems packed with people living outside and using drugs. This riverfront park downtown has a receptacle for used heroin syringes. Oregon is a relatively small state by population, but it has an awful lot of homeless people, more per capita than neighboring Washington or California. To get a sense of the scale of the problem, we drove to Eugene in the central part of the state. Eugene is a college town with the politics to match. Not surprisingly, it has an enormous homeless population. Ultimately, however, even the generosity of a place like Eugene has limits. On the night we arrived, multiple people were living in this makeshift structure. 2 days later, the city had cleared the sidewalk and put up notices that it was going to scrap the belongings inside. Eugene is trying to get a handle on its homeless problem, but there are roadblocks. A major one? A ruling by the federal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that has declared it somehow unconstitutional to shoo away homeless people if there's no place for them to go. Eugene's leaders have responded by trying to erect tent
The thing that annoys
cities
me about England
One proposal envisioned
and the USA, I've never been
homeless
to America,
encampment in a parking lot
they
at the
charge you on
center
the
of
bedroom
downtown.
tax
So far,
because of the
those
spare
efforts
room
have
in the
failed.
UK.
A local
America,
charity called St. Vincent de
they
Paul
seem to
stepped
just
in with its own
take all your money
solution.
off you and you've got no insurance, you can't pay for illnesses or anything.
Structure that was used by the military and
You get free insurance in the UK if you're not
Other
working.
cities on the West Coast have tried to provide housing for the homeless.
We don't live in a
usually at
fair
remarkable
world,
expense.
apparently.
San Jose, California, for example, is spending
Then they're trying to dock
$37
people's
million
benefits in the
on a
UK.
building that will house
I don't know if they're doing
just
that in America
83 people. By
as well.
contrast, St.
But,
Vincent de Paul's answer is
yeah.
simple and cheap.
this whole section.
We probably don't have a benefit system in America. That people just have to
Residents are assigned a bed and
work.
given a place to store their belongings. They're expected to make their beds every day to instill a sense of pride and self-worth. The shelter is open to anyone, including drunks and drug users. Those who stay get treated for addiction. The strategy essentially is the opposite of what cities like Seattle and San Francisco are doing. St. Vincent de Paul's goal is to get people off the streets and into an environment where they might actually recover. The housing isn't meant to be permanent. St. Vincent de Paul tries to get residents cleaned up and ready for long-term housing within just a few months. For many, the strategy appears to be working.
What are the odds that in 2 years they're back on the streets?
If they stay in programs and in association with people that are clean and sober, chances are pretty good that they're going to stay out.
Well, the homeless crisis appears to be getting worse pretty much everywhere in America. Rather than try to fix the problem, though, elites prefer to attack its victims. In the city of Seattle, one of the places hit hardest by this crisis, a woman has faced, believe it or not, backlash for seeking justice after she says she was raped by a homeless man with multiple arrest warrants. We'll interview a documentary filmmaker who told her story tomorrow night as our series on homelessness in America continues.
The world we live in can sometimes be a strange place, and the people that are in it. Alright, so we're going to put something else on and see.
Right, so we've got about 300 youths, 300 throwing bricks at children. We've got youths. Oh, listen, no way. I'm letting the world know what's going on. I'm letting the world know what's going on. Come on. I'm letting the world know what's going on.
Seems to be kicking off down this area. Loads of police
Right,
everywhere.
Muslim youths from the Muslim Defence League. We've got Muslim youths attacking Tommy Robinson supporters who have children. There are children here. Look at them. Look at them. They're attacking. They're attacking. They're attacking. They're throwing bricks. They're throwing bricks. They're throwing bottles. Someone's been stabbed. Someone's been stabbed. They've got... They moved in. They moved in. They moved in. 300 Muslim Defence Leagues have turned up attacking Tommy Robinson supporters. They've got bricks. They've been throwing bricks. They've been throwing bottles. This is incredible. Police have marched them down here. No. Video them! They better be.
They're getting very heated around this part.
So someone's been stabbed. Muslim Defence League. No, stop pushing me, officer. Officer. Muslim Defence League have turned up. They're throwing bottles. They've stabbed someone. They're all balaclavaed up, showing Allah Akbar. They've thrown bricks. There's bricks all over the road. Brick! So we've got 300 Muslim Defence Leagues that have come down to attack Tommy Robinson supporters. There's women and children here. They've thrown bricks. One person's been stabbed. The police have allowed this to happen. They marched them down to this location. Tommy Robinson is over there. He's safe. He's with security.
I think it's glitching out on his phone.
There's Brickman over. So English who's tuned in, we've got about brick! They're throwing bricks, brick! Just throw another brick.
I know something you'd see in a movie. Duck down, grenades, bricks.
So they've turned up with about 300 to 400 Muslim Defence League throwing bricks.
TV's gone off. Bloody thing, I tell you. I hate it when it does this. Oh, it's going back to the beginning now.
There's another brick.
So where were we?
They're hitting cars, they've thrown bottles. One person apparently has been stabbed. They're all balaclavaed up.
2 minutes, guys.
They're all the lads that are peaceful here.
I don't know where I was until the phone fucking crashed. That's what happens sometimes, the phone seems to crash.
They're all balaclavaed up. I don't know how good the picture is. So the police escorted this group down to this location. Sorry. Oh, Tommy Robinson! Oh, Tommy Robinson! Push your head. Officers, she can't stand here without a helmet. She can't stand here without a helmet. Officer, she can't stand here without a helmet. She's going to get hurt. He's got a helmet on. That's not a helmet. Are you okay? Are you okay? Bless you, sorry. You okay, yeah? Unbelievable. I know that you shouldn't have to deal with that. So, we're going to keep looking that way because of the bricks that are coming in. So we've been here for about an hour. Okay, there's been no problems. We've been in Oldham Town Centre, no problems whatsoever. When we arrived, we drove past 300 to 400 Muslim Defence League, and they were coming down. They've all got balaclavas on. They're throwing bricks. Apparently, one person's been stabbed up the road. They're throwing bottles at people. It's absolutely incredible scenes. The police have actually escorted that group down to this location, and then obviously wondered why. Then they started throwing bricks and everything else. But incredible scenes, guys. Honestly, incredible.
Drop it! Drop it! All the rest of them! The rest of them ending! All the rest of them!
I mean, they can get the numbers to arrest people, surely.
Bricks are being thrown, bricks hitting windows.
Unless they're short of numbers.
They're trying to break through the police lines. All wearing balaclavas. We've all got balaclavas. So the English Defence League is seen as a violent organisation. Yeah. Brick! Look at the size of that brick. Let me show you the size of that brick. Excuse me, I'm not going. Let me show you the size of that brick. Where's that brick? Let me show you the size of that brick. Where's that brick gone? Where is it? Look at the size. Where's that brick? Where is it? Let me show you the size of this. Look what they've just thrown. There's women and children. Look, there's a woman here. She's a reporter. This is what's being thrown over. This is it. This is death. If that hits you in the face, in the head, you are dead. That is attempted murder. That is attempted murder. That is attempted murder. These police officers are not dealing with it. That's attempted murder. 100%. Officer, that is attempted murder. Officer, that is attempted murder. Go that way! Don't come this way! Don't antagonise the crowd. Tell the riot squad to go back. Tell the riot squad to go back. All right, lads, let's go back. If that officers aren't doing their job, let's go back. You just said it. Let's go back. Come on, let's go back. Come on. Let's go back. What's the bricks? Brick! Fuck! Bricks! Everyone, move out of the way, sweetheart. Move out of the way. No, seriously, go through. Go further. Go away. Go away.
Again, the TV's gone off. TV keeps going off, which is very annoying when it keeps doing this.
Come on, come back. I'm trying to calm the situation down. It's going off! It's going off! All right, okay. Look. They're attacking officers, they're attacking people. Officers, that's why they're doing it, because they're trying. Officers. I'm trying to calm the situation down, try and get everyone back. Let's let Claire, move out the way. Claire, seriously, move out the way. See out the way. Come on, let's go back. Lads, go back. Because we've got to look at it. Watch your heads. So these officers are now. Yeah, that's attempted murder. That is attempted murder. Come on, let's go back, guys. Come on. So Let me tell you what's going on. If you've just joined in, we've turned up in Oldham, no problems whatsoever, and we went to town centre. Our town centre was fine. There was no issues. And then as we drove into the location of where the speech was going to be, about 300 to 400 Muslim Defence League members balaclavaed up, completely balaclavaed. Every single one of them balaclavaed up, and they started throwing bricks. They apparently stabbed someone. So Tommy Robinson.
2019, guys.
So we're not sure. The police
Bloody TV's gone off again.
It was incredible.
It just keeps switching off. It's so annoying. I've looked in the settings on the TV and it doesn't seem
The
to
size
be.
of the bricks. They were throwing bricks. There's women and children here. For me, that's attempted murder. That hits you in the temple, you're dead. You're gone. So and the police response has just been. Now it's okay, but when they originally came, it was atrocious. But I'm going to have to go and deal with Tom now. We'll make sure that we've got the vehicle ready, make sure everything's safe, and anything else happens, I'll come back on. Guys.
Interesting video. What happens in this crazy world we live in? Another video. These are gangs of London, mob gangs, bike gangs, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with anybody which is a robber on a bike. Look at the cowards stealing from people and innocent people. These type of people stealing the bikes here. Got mob gangs. This is what these stupid bike thieves, scoot thieves do in London, is rob people's stuff. Don't agree with it. Metropolitan Police. Police cars going behind him. Guy on the bike. The police car just knock him off. Well, I'll knock him off. Make my day if he knocks him off the bike. Two bikes, police bikes running. Helicopter and police cars. And they're running. You can't escape a police helicopter. Only so far you can run before you don't escape the law. Here come the police in to arrest him. He's giving himself up. Bloody hell, man. What a world we live in. Running away from the law, yes. Tony Robinson with the police again.
We've got a duty to prevent things from happening.
But it's not a crime. It's not a criminal offence.
It's not a recordable offence, correct, but it's still an offence under the Road Traffic Act.
The rebel.
I know. They've got them at every... Look at all the police officers. Look at all the police officers. What are you filming?
You're just filming yourself, guys, that's all.
Why are you filming?
It's exactly the same reason you're filming us.
No, I'm filming you now.
Yeah, so exactly the same as what you're filming us. So
What's the reason?
The reasons are on that.
So you're filming me for the prevention of crime. You're filming me for the prevention of crime. Can you explain? You've got 38 officers in this small square.
There's a few more things about this.
Do you not get any crime in Carlisle? Is there no crime? Can you explain? So why are 38 police officers here for me walking around talking? Can we find out why the
Right,
police?
so I spoke to our chief inspector, okay, who is our silver commander, and he's told us that we have the power to prevent anyone parking in a restricted area, which that is, as we explained, Tommy, it's disabled only, and that's what we're doing today, and that's why the police officers were there.
And that's for everybody.
That's for everybody, he said, yes.
What about the van standing? What about the other car? What about the white car there?
The only other thing I can say to you is when I question things like that, the chief inspector said that if you wanted to make a complaint, make one direct to him through the proper channels.
What police law is it that you're using to do that? Do you know?
Regulations under the Road Traffic Act. Yeah.
So how come you're not stopping any other cars coming in? Any other cars?
I'm not down there at present, so I
Okay,
can't.
so your police officers are all around the whole town.
Yeah.
The whole town centre. They're positioned at every entrance and road into the town centre. And everywhere we try to drive, they stand in the road. They literally stand in the road and say, "You're not allowed to drive down there." Okay? What police law am I breaking if I drive down there?
As I've just said, the
Regulation
the Road Traffic Act.
And what happens then? So a car drives down there. What happens?
You get a fine.
A fine.
Yeah.
So what law where the police block the road? Because it's not a police criminal offence, is it?
But we've got a duty to prevent things from happening.
It's not crime. It's not a criminal offence.
It's not a recordable offence, correct, but it's still an offence under the Road Traffic Act.
So it's enforceable by the police to stop a car parking on a double yellow line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We've got in good conscience stand and watch something happen that shouldn't happen.
No? And if someone does?
Then we'll step in.
You step in. It's a standard procedure. You usually have police officers guarding roads, preventing people parking on double yellow lines. Or is it not standard procedure? Is this because it's Tommy Robinson?
We're here to allow you to do your electioneering. We want that to happen peacefully. Yeah.
You followed us since we come off the motorway. You had cars waiting on the motorway, and as we drove in, your cars followed, and then you followed us absolutely everywhere you've been. You prevented us setting up everywhere we've been.
To have that in town centre, you need to have a permit from the council to allow that.
And is that a police issue? No. Nothing to do with the police. Every city I've been to, every single city I've been to, we've done this. We've worked with the liaison officers.
Yeah.
We've parked our van up for the safest possible day. Yeah. And the police have never, in any other town or city, acted the way your police officers act.
Tommy, so what exactly is going on right now?
So what's going on is the police are preventing us setting up our van within any vicinity of the town centre. They're doing it on behalf of the council. They said the council don't want us here. We're trying to do an election campaign. We've been blocked at 4 points this morning, just trying to get our van set up. And the van it's on 4 wheels, so it can park wherever it wants actually, even if it gets a parking ticket. But they're blocking us. So we're trying to find somewhere else to set it up now. And as you've seen, there's 38 police officers in this small town centre standing here for me, really, with cameras. Have you seen any opposition?
No, nobody here.
Everyone's positive? Everyone's positive. So it's just about building a hysteria or an image, which is what the police are doing by all their numbers. But everywhere you look, you'll see them. Everywhere you look, they're interfering with an election campaign, really. And they're also there to send a message as though it's not safe to support me and though there's some big problem. There are actually no Muslims in this city, so we don't expect any problems in the city. And as you've seen, we haven't had any.
And what reason are they giving you that they don't want you to set up?
The council. As you said, the council. So the council goes. Now, most councils, the majority of people in this city voted for Brexit anyway, but this is the first city we've been to where this is the way the council behaves. But the police, I said to the police, you're a police officer. Your job's to enforce and stop criminal law. What criminal law are we breaking by trying to park our van somewhere? We're not breaking anything. It's got nothing to do with the police. It's the council. So I said, you're acting as enforcers for the council, which goes against actually what you're meant to do.
I'm here in the UK to report on Tommy Robinson's campaign because I don't trust the mainstream media to do it fairly. To see all my videos and to help support us and cover the cost of my journey, please visit TommyReports.com. Unlike the BBC, we get zero government funding, so we depend 100% on viewers like you.
Interesting. That's what I would say. Learn something different every day. Well, how many ways could this go on Brexit and various other things? It's very irritating. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this 45 minutes video. Thank you for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe, share these videos with your friends. If you liked it, drop a like, drop a comment, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. I may do this stream later on GTA 5, guys, so join me there. Thank you for joining this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And yeah, I'll be doing some more videos like this as well. See you later, guys. Peace.